Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. This morning, as I was reading through Proverbs 26, there was a couple of things that popped up to me. And first and foremost, the very beginning of Proverbs 26 reminded me almost every single verse. There are fools in the world. And I got to thinking about it. And I know that's true because very often I'm that fool. As I was reading through all the verses that talked about the fools, verses 1 through 12, and then after that we're talking about slackers, which I look like at times as well. I realized that almost every single one of these statements about fools I find true about myself at one point or another. And it was a realization that Solomon was reminding me that true wisdom says that I am a fool, and I need to be aware of that and make sure that I'm living my life in a different way. May be true about you as well. Let me be blunt. It is true about you as well. You can be a fool, and that's just a statement of fact. But we get to do something about it. But there was another thing that jumped at me this morning, and I really wanted to talk about. You know, in our world, we're looking at the conflicts, the strife, the anger, the angst, the head-to-head, you're wrong, I'm right, in personal life, social economic life, political life, world life. It's everywhere. Everybody's headbutting about something or another. You know, in verse 20 it says, wood without fire goes out. Without gossip, conflict dies down. And that's pretty true. I mean, if you want to put out a forest fire, the first thing you do is go remove the next set of fuel that the fire is going to come to, and then it can't spread. The very difficult thing to do. Takes a lot of work, a lot of manpower, a lot of effort. And it's got to be enough separation that it can't jump over it, right? But there's more to it. What starts a fire? What starts the stuff? Well, you know, if you have a spark, it can start a fire. But if you take a spark and you drop that spark on a great big log, that glow of that spark isn't going to have enough energy to start a fire. But if you take a piece of charcoal or a piece of wood that's already been mostly burnt and it's just the coal out of the fire, it's not glowing at all. It's just cold and you can touch it all the way around. You take a piece of cloth that has had all the moisture whipped out of it, and it's called char cloth. It's been put in a fire, everything's been brought out of it, and all it is this charcoal mixture. And you drop an ember into that, it will be enough heat that you can start a fire with. And so verse 21 says, a charcoal for embers, wood for a fire. So a quarrelsome man for kindling strife. The stuff that's going on in the world starts with you and I wanting to argue. The stuff in the world, it happens. It has happened. It will continue to happen. But when we put ourselves into the middle of the argument, where there was no argument, and we start the quarrel, it starts the strife. I've watched it happen time and time again where a group of people are together, and loving each other and handling each other well. And all of a sudden somebody comes in and said, did you hear about? And all of a sudden it turns into pandemonium. And before long, they're arguing about stuff they would have never argued about before. Are you going to be the charcoal that catches that spark? Are you going to be the spark that lands on somebody else's charcoal? Or are you going to be the one that shines the love of Christ in the world? Because that will put out any fire. It has to. It's like a bucket of water poured onto a smoldering piece of coal about this big. It's amazing what can happen, but we have to take our responsibility. Just a piece for thought today for this weekend as we go into a weekend where typically we're celebrating, although this weekend we should be remembering much more than celebrating. Remembering what others did so that you can have a freedom. Just a thought for today. I love you all. I truly do. Don't forget, if these speak to you, please feel free to like and share them. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and it'll let you know every time I upload one. And have a great day. God bless.